type.
Well, you're not. You're married.
Yeah, I know. It's
How long
called.
have you been
That's how
married?
you get people to pay.
Yeah, but I mean, to some degree, and I mean, I have reversed this finesse myself, but to some degree, isn't it a bit disingenuous to be on a dating app where people are on these apps genuinely to potentially meet someone, and you're just on there peddling your social media accounts?
I'm
It's
still
OF.
like, but I'm still talking to them and like talking to them
But
like they're human beings.
You're married. Like there's no prospect of a relationship with you. These
Yeah,
are,
but you could go on Bumble and be a friend with someone on Bumble. It's
But I think the
I mean,
main
that's
point of dating
naive a
apps is
little
to find a date.
well,
rather
there's
than a
different. There's different
friend.
points in it. I think
they're
that
literally
they're-
called dating apps.
Yeah, but they're dating. Like I can go on an app and be like, hey, I'm gonna go find one of my like friends that's a girl to go on a date with them. A date
Bumble
is a
has
date.
a setting for Bumble
Yeah.
BFFs.
Yeah, but you're
Like-
you're matching with men on these apps, not within the I think Bumble's the only one that has the BFF section. You're
No,
matching
there's
with
a
men
few.
in the match section.
It's an advertisement.
Yeah. Don't you advertise?
I mean, I think it's also networking.
Well, I've reversed the
Yeah,
finesse.
and honestly, I've met
advertise on
so many.
Twitter.
I've met so many
That's
people
different.
that
That's
have come.
different.
I've met so many people that have come through on my OF that have actually like helped me with my other investments, and I've actually became like in a way friends with them too. So I don't think that I'm like finessing them in any way to where they know that I'm married.
They have
They know
autonomy. They have autonomy. They can choose whether or not to
Yeah.
send money to
Well,
a random stranger online.
Sure, it's ultimately it's their fault. But what I'm saying is, like, for the average guy who's just swiping through the app, can you not do that, please?
Sorry.
To the average guy who's just swiping through the app, who's maybe looking for a relationship, and it's like Instagram model, here's my Instagram in the link, OF girl, OF girl, OF girl. It's kind of like, to some degree, it's disingenuous because people go on these apps to find someone. Both men and women go on dating apps to potentially find a partner. And if you're, it's
The
like,
morality police? What are you?
look, hey, it's the fucking hustle. I go on the dating apps, and I'm like one of the rare dudes that's doing the fucking reverse finesse because I invite girls to be on the show
Yeah.
on the dating
What
apps.
if they're trying to date you? What if they're like, what about this
Sure.
baby blue?
So yeah.
But
so
here's the
now you're
difference:
giving-
is there's like one of me and like a sea of women who have Instagram, who have OnlyFans, who are using these apps to like try to secure customers.
What about all the men who use the apps just to fuck women and never talk to them again? That's
If-
most of what dating apps are.
Well, I disagree
That's a
there.
finesse.
I actually disagree there, but I disagree that
What?
I will say I met my husband through Bumble. So.
most men on dating
met
apps,
mine through-
most men on dating apps are not trying to hit and quit. Most men are actually trying to find
That is
somebody.
the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You have no, that's all anecdotal. You have no stats to back that up. And
I
that's
do
ridiculous.
have stats, and here's how. Now, the women that the men that the women inevitably end up choosing, that they end up sleeping with, yeah, they get hit and quit. Like, sure, because women are going after the top 10% of men on these apps, and they've released the data on this. Most women, and you can ask them themselves, most women are swiping no on like 90% of dudes. They're all going after the top 10% of men on dating apps, the most attractive men.
Sure.
So if they were
So you're upset that women are selective.
I'm not upset that women are selective. I accept that women are selective.
They're supposed to be. That's our biological imperative.
Sure, but to some degree it's the point of delusion, insofar as if a lot of women complain, I can't find commitment. Well, that's because you're overlooking the men that would readily give you commitment because you're chasing after those top percentage.
And why wouldn't they?
Those top.
And why wouldn't they chase after those men?
Well,
Yeah,
You
women
mean-
are sexual selectors, meaning that we bring kin into we get to decide who we have children with.
sure.
So of course we would want to have someone who, provides for us, who looks able-bodied, who we think would be a good father. Is there a problem with that?
To some degree, there is.
And what is that?
Well, in an unrestricted, sexual marketplace where you have, and it's really the fault of us going digital, where you have dating apps, where you have social media. Women have always, even before social media, have always been selective, hypergamous.
Since the beginning of time.
Yes.
Well, not
However,
necessarily
but
hypergamous,
that was
but sexual
restricted.
selectors.
But that was restricted to some degree to their geographical region.
Sure.
Whereas now we've globalized the sexual marketplace to the point where a girl who's in Idaho, can you get off your phone, please? What's going on? There's like 3 girls missing from the table. What's the deal?
One went to the bathroom.
You guys are done? What do you mean you're done? Do you want to come on camera and explain it? Yeah, you... Huh? Because you came here for a reason. You guys...
And like all things, things can be worked out, folks.
What's up?
So I'm so
First
glad
off,
you
they
could come
can't
back.
hear you if you're just like
Thank you
not
very much for
talking.
putting up with that. That was a bit of a technical spectacle, as one would call it.
Behind the scenes here,
And
there's 3 empty microphones. We'd like to have you guys involved in the conversation because this
we'd
is
like
a
to have you
panel
involved in the
dating show.
conversation. So I'm reopening the Zoom
That's fine.
meeting that was
But
dragging
it's a
down the
panel dating
entire
show,
network.
like, what's going on? I'm trying to run a smooth operation here. If I have
He's
people
trying to
going
run
up,
a smooth
going over
operation
going
here,
over there,
folks.
What's the deal? Huh? You don't want
Yeah,
to
just
be
making
on
sure the
here.
audio's back
Why is
up and
that?
running. Oh, we've got full streaming capabilities around here. Running at normal pace, thank goodness. I'm AronMSound, so glad you could join me. What are we listening to? Oh, just the beginning of bad advice, folks. Just tons of bad advice all over the place.
Okay, so that's fine.
Okay, so that's
Can
fine.
you guys
but
not be having fun?
he's just
Oh, he's here for the money. What?
he's just here for the money.
Of course he is.
Of
He's
course
a sex
he
worker in
is.
some ways. Whoring yourself out.
I'm a pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not a pimp.
I mean,
I'm not a pimp.
No, you're a
I mean,
whore.
Tilt
But-
the microphone
you know,
like this.
kinda.
Tilt it a little
Yeah,
more.
kinda.
We need a seat
Totally,
for bad
kinda.
scenario. The mic's kind of blocking her at the moment. Let's see, the coolest place, 50, I'll read it. Brian being paid by viewers to question beautiful, smart business women is the same thing as him having his own OF. He's making money off the ladies.
I thought he
They
had
are
an
so
OF.
attractive, they have gotten you money. So thank them,
Doesn't he
Brian.
have an
Say
OF?
Thank you to each lady.
I don't know.
Call
I
me
could be
dumb.
wrong about that. I probably am. Who knows?
I'm
These
good
girls
on-
pay your bills.
I'm good.
They do.
on
The
that.
women, they pay his bills. That's for
well,
dang sure.
You could say the same thing about women who do sex work, though. Your
Yeah, but
clientele
that's,
is
you know, a
99% men.
deflection away
So,
from the
in the same way that
facts.
So men pay your bills.
well, in the same way that you could say that
Yeah,
I am earning money
yeah.
by having women on my show.
If you've ever seen me write that, that's what
Like
that sounds like.
y'all are earning money from men.
Yeah.
So we're all. It's the circle
It's
of
the
life.
same pot.
It's the fucking circle
I
of
think.
life.
Oh no.
It's dirty money, Brian.
Oh
It's dirty
no. Oh no.
You're upset that women are selective.
I'm not upset that women are selective. I
kinda
accept
sound like
that
you're
women
upset.
are selective.
There's
But the reason you're
that's our
upset, I'm not trying to rub it in.
imperative.
The reason you're
Sure,
upset
but to some degree, it's the point
is
of
mostly because
delusion
I,
insofar as
in my opinion,
if
maybe you don't know how to reach out to
find
people.
commitment.
Maybe you don't know how to make
that's
friends.
because you're overlooking the men that would readily give you commitment because you're chasing after.
Maybe
why
you
wouldn't
know,
they?
those top.
it's time
Why
to learn
wouldn't they
something
chase after
new,
those men?
or give into
Well,
the idea that maybe
Yeah,
You
women
mean
are sexual
more to
selectors,
it?
meaning that we bring kin
Yes.
into the.
maybe it's
bring
just not
kin into
demanding that
society
you
and
know
filter
what's
them.
up
Sure.
because you
So of
seem
course
cool
we
to
would
yourself,
want to have someone who,
but rather,
you know, provides for us, who looks able-bodied, who
You know.
would be a good father.
rather
Is there a problem with that?
maybe
To some degree,
I'm just
there is.
suggesting
And what is that?
that there
In
could
an
possibly
unrestricted,
be a better way.
in like an
And that's what we're gonna talk about today.
Sexual marketplace where you have
Because you know what
the
it's really
fault
about here.
of us
You know what time it is,
where you
now
have
that I'm back up and running.
dating apps, where you have social media. You know, women have always, even before social media,
time to
have
look
always
up.
been selective. Hypergamous.
Since the beginning of time.
Yes.
Well, not
However,
necessarily
but
hypergamous,
that was
but sexual
restricted.
selective.
But that was restricted to some degree to their geographical region.
Sure.
Because that's all there is to it.
So what about you, Destiny?
I didn't learn shit. I'm perfect.
You're not! Stop.
Um,
Bitch.
All the red pill people that I fight against, that I say like you shouldn't do this, is how you build a healthy relationship. All of those things are things that I do unironically in the worst way.
Like what?
Like I have really hard time like communicating and shit, or something I've had to work on a lot over the past 4 years. It's probably the #1 detriment to all of my relationships is that can be a very bad communicator. So like if there's a fight that's like bad enough, and
seeing
somebody's pushing me for an
himself
answer
admit
or hard enough in the heat of
He's
the
not
moment.
Are you like a
stamping his
shutdown kind of
fists on
person?
the
Yes.
table,
I'm
demanding his right.
Listen, if you don't like it, then just leave. Why are you even here? If you don't like the relationship, just find somebody else. House, let me work.
He's also got dead eyes.
Yeah.
When he says certain things, it just
Then
looks
I
like
just
there's
need
no
to treat
respect.
him like a child
Yeah,
because he's
that's
just
usually
being
like-
childish. That's what he's doing.
That's
so
my shutdown mode.
instead of like seeing him like this is his true feelings, I just can't think that way. I need to just like no, he's just being childish right now and really emotional. So I need to like give him space, and he's gonna most likely say that he did not mean that.
That's good.
Hopefully.
That's good.
But this is like I think this is most people. I think most people do this to some extent, you know.
Act childish when they're upset.
Yeah, but he's. I think you're pretty okay at communicating at times.
Usually, I've gotten better at it. That's like a thing. That's like
All
probably
right,
the
you
biggest
have
thing
to
I need to
stand
work
by
on, or have been working on.
But it
But you
kind
still
of
have to
makes
stand
sense
by.
because if there's
Stand by.
people that you try to
I
communicate
can tell you
with
not
in
to
the
stand
past
by.
and they get mad for you saying things or doing wanting things,
Oh, she gets
usually
mad?
you kind of
He
want to
gets
pull away
mad?
and never really
I'm
say
so
anything in that case.
surprised.
Yeah.
So,
Couldn't imagine.
remember the
Couldn't
boundary thing I was
imagine.
talking about?
He gets
I feel
mad.
like he needs to get better at
Makes
boundaries.
me want to
Yeah.
Probably
drop.
one of these things too. It's not
a
just
bongo.
like don't do this, whatever. It's also like I need these things,
Yeah.
but I don't dare to say those things because you're
I
gonna
agree.
get
That's
mad.
why I told him
That's
to
also
delete
boundary.
Notice that
Darius
she
and
says she
delete,
doesn't
the
dare
other one.
say those things because she knows she could piss him off.
Wait, what was it?
But I said delete them. They gotta go.
Delete them?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want them to be on?
Ain't that
Hey, man, I
amazing?
said-
Ain't that amazing?
So I agree with you.
Oh, bluesy blue.
Yeah.
What,
How y'all
what have you
doing?
been working on? Aren't you in a new relationship or something?
You
Or am I
ready?
making that up?
Are we ready?
Everything that
Are we
happens
in?
stays on.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't want to talk about.
guess we're in.
What life skills you've improved over the past.
I think the pandemic.
That's what happens when the tech fails, folks.
Yeah.
And then I tried long distance relationship once, and I hated the fuck out of it.
Oh,
You know
fuck
what
that.
I realized I hated?
You gotta wait for the
long
audience to
distance?
get back in after you
It's
just
not
rushed them out
just
because the
the
fire
distance,
ambulance, the
actually
fire and the
having
ambulance
time
showed up, and you're
together.
like, all right, everybody come back.
Why is
What
that?
happened?
Because you go from not seeing somebody to like seeing them for 9 days straight, all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so jarring. Like when you just start dating
It's so
somebody,
jarring.
you go to dinner, you go
Is that
out,
jarring?
they go home, you go home. But then a
Is
long
that
distance,
jarring?
like you like somebody,
No.
right? And then you don't
What's
see them.
jarring
And all
about
of a sudden
this
you're
is
seeing
just
them for like
people
10
with
days straight. It's
terrible
like,
ideas about
I just
love.
want to breathe for a little bit.
Convincing
So that can
each
be
other
fucking
that they know
jarring.
the better
There's just so
terrible
much,
idea
like you
of
can't
love.
play video games the same way because they're just there, or you can't just do.
Hey,
you gotta be
Emily!
comfortable
Thank
with
you so
living
much for
with somebody.
joining.
It feels like you're part.
And you know what happens when people join. Stand
No one's
by.
ever talked about that. Like the time together is actually also in a weird way miserable.
Yeah.
I think
Can
that's
I get a
I've
Uno
noticed
in the
that
chat
with
if
pandemic too, because
your
everyone
video and
got so
audio is good
introverted
or
afterwards.
decent
I think
or
you
not
need
looking
to,
like a
train that.
still
I think
picture?
there's like
That's not looking like a
working
still
out. Like,
picture
you're not
with
gonna
my
like working out if
with
you
my
don't do
vocal
it.
over it.
Like,
Is
but if you're doing
basically
it, you
the best
almost
I
need it.
can-
So
what
if
I'm
you're like a
hoping
very, let's say that you're a very like introverted person, and then you become really extroverted with your work, you're probably gonna need to see a lot more people like when you're not working as well. And it's the same other way around as well. So if you haven't seen anyone for a very
What
long
is she
time,
saying?
it's actually
I'm
even
not
though
sure
you
what
might be
she's saying.
extroverted or you were beforehand, it's probably going to be really hard for you to get extrovert again. I really do believe that. I think that's the thing. I think it's like I think you can be a little bit more naturally extroverted or introverted, but I think it's like a training thing.
You think that relates to my long distance issue I
Yeah,
have?
yeah,
How so?
because you're not used to it. You're not used to having someone around all the time.
Yeah,
right?
but
and you're
it
not
feels
used to
like-
having a relationship all
Right,
the time
right.
around you,
But
so it's
if
like
I was
almost
to-
too much.
If I was to start somebody on a workout regimen, right, I wouldn't be like, all right, you're working out every day, or you're gonna work out every other day. You'd build them up over time to get the strength to be able to handle
Yeah,
that,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
I don't have the strength to go from like never
Yeah.
seeing that person to all of a sudden you're there for 10 days. That's just a very
Yeah.
extreme polar
Yeah,
change
exactly.
rather than incrementally.
Yeah, I think the social thing is like a training thing that
okay.
you need to get used to. For
That's
sure.
fair. That's
No,
actually a good point.
Yeah.
So maybe what you said, I should start with like 1-2 days and then build up to like 3, 4, 5.
I think mostly you need to do that. Because also, like, let's say that you're hanging out with someone all the time and you want to hang out with them all the time. You should be able to, like, be alone. But you're probably so used to hanging out with someone. So it's like, I think it goes both ways.
Okay, I like that. I like that advice.
She's banned someone.
No.
Did somebody join? I heard a noise.
Yeah, Darius, what did you want? You got 3 seconds, or did somebody kick him?
In general, oh, it's a sign.
Someone kicked
You know,
me.
it's generally a sign.
You took those perms away from me.
Did I really?
There's a mod room.
Yeah, what's it?
It's at the bottom somewhere. I don't know anymore because I can't see it.
Audit log.
What?
Last time I saw you look very different. Do you have shorter hair?
No.
Oh, bangs.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, and then I'm blonder.
Okay, what do you
So
want?
was mine last time.
Okay, so what is Avo telling you to like cancel me for? What's going on? Why do you message me?
No, we were just having a general conversation about Blav, and you came up.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Why am I giving you so much time?
I did say cancel, bro. I don't know why are you making it sound general. Like I said, yo,
With the man with the blue hair.
Out of here.
Jesus.
Well, I'll tell you what.
What is it?
Bro, say it when I'm in the oh, bitch. It's such a pussy, dude. Literally, you doing it in DMs too. Say it to my face, bitch.
Why did he?
I don't know if he's leaving. I don't
It's
know
a
if
different kind of
Ron is
situation.
keeping him. I don't know how to tell.
So I actually got to give this one credit.
Oh, wait. I think I go up
His
here
little
to server
fuzzy blue
settings,
head.
don't I?
Hi, what's happening? I'm AronMSound. You thought you were never going to see me, huh?
Audit
Here
log. Here we go.
Trust I wasn't sure I was going to see you either.
Wait, is this the one? Is it
but
audit log?
Thankfully, we're still rolling. He's still rolling. We're all audio wise.
I don't know if it is.
I'm looking pretty.
There should be A1s.
I think I feel fly today. I don't know about you. Oh, except for the fact that let me arrange myself.
That's okay. He's not gonna kick
Make my
us.
mother proud.
Just leaving fairly quickly.
Oh,
That's fine.
I don't know.
That's his
I
kind
don't know
of
if
he
that's
names like
possible.
that, you know.
Probably goes out.
It's all good.
Okay, so the Zoom is
Is there
open.
anything else you want to bring up?
No, you wanna go date Sam?
I'm not gonna be able to go out to eat. I gotta go out.
You can't go out to eat right now. We left right now.
I had to do 3 different things to get the damn thing open and not crash the whole system today.
What do you mean?
Oh, and it's still like
you do
not
your
happy.
thing. I know you love streaming. I
Not
want
the
to
happiest
ruin your
of
shit, bro.
campers.
I know you want to write this
We'll
like
get past
self-defense
it. We'll
piece
get
about
past
why you should be able to shoot people for grass or whatever it is.
Hey, Lita! Carl! What's Carl?
Yeah, no,
I've been
I'm
waiting
gonna
for
go
you
out.
for a second. Hold on, am I totally out of
Like a
sorts
couple
here?
dance events and then
I
just
think
going
I
out.
You went to Miami to go on dates?
Dance events.
There we
Oh, I
are.
see dance events. Wait, what kind
Get,
of dance events?
let me get back in sorts. Hold on.
So I was doing that the whole weekend. So I was just doing that, and then I just
Wow,
gonna
give me
leave
one
to do
second.
some work and then see some friends. But otherwise, it's just go out and do stuff.
When do you leave? Do you say?
Tuesday morning.
Cool.
If you want to go out to eat Monday, we can certainly do that.
What are you doing Sunday?
Sunday, I got to deal with somebody else, and then I'm going out again. I'm going out the whole weekend.
Okay.
Why? Is Monday a bad day?
No, we can go Monday.
You ever taken any dance classes?
I used to compete in ballroom dancing,
Hey!
so I know all of the
You and Ayla.
Ah, the sync is back. Yes, it's so nice, but a movie at the same time. It's not a kung fu movie any longer.
What kind of ballroom?
Ah,
What are
yes.
you doing?
All the
Technicalities.
Anyways, what's your favorite? You do one of them foxtrot motherfuckers. You'd be like,
There we go.
I don't
Ah,
know if I had a favorite one.
Lita,
ever
I
seen
haven't
it?
checked my email
No, you've
since
never seen
recently, but
I
let me
haven't done it in
see- let me
years,
see
so
what we
I'm
got.
very curious if I started. But like, I can understand, like if we dance.
Oh, I
we
did.
would, like, what do
I
like?
did you
Like,
get
we
my
dance really well,
email
because
back?
would probably
I sent
figure
you
out,
an
like,
email
the
back
basic steps, and
actually
I'll
with a
figure
whole
out, like,
bunch
how
of
to do it.
appropriate responses to what I saw.
No,
By the way, we're totally above board. It actually was a
Mel
fantastic
time.
email. Thank you. Thank
Mel
you.
time.
I appreciate that. That was
It's
awesome.
Mel time.
got the 4. Okay, so we're just doing salsa. We're just
It's mail time. Whoa. Oh, am I off again?
Yeah.
Goodness. Oh yeah. I bet you it's a filter. It's a filter. Video delay. AC isn't on.
Yeah.
No, we're good. Anyways, let's get to the topic.
5, 6, 7, 1. 5, 6, 7. Hey, she can really do it. She can really do it.
So basically, what are we talking about today? We're talking about dating. We're talking about the craziness in dating. We're talking about the missed moments, the viewpoints, the offset angles that people are coming at this, thing that we do interpersonally. That's really about being vulnerable, right? That most of us who've had any decent
I was getting
relationships in our
footage for
life
his next video on me. Thanks.
consider as
Oh my God, he let his
norm
wife dance with
when
another
you allow
man.
yourself to be
You said
vulnerable.
what? You want to slap her next?
No problem.
was grinding or some shit.
Oh.
Like, yo, chill, be easy.
Oh, I haven't
should've
seen
turned
something
up the,
new unless
R&B.
maybe resend it,
Yo, you
Nita.
could put a lot of
If
crazy
it's something
I
that,
should probably try that sometime though, for real.
oh, hey.
Just to see, because
Or did you
I just
send
need
it
to, like,
to
know
the
basic
new
steps.
official?
Yeah,
By the way,
here,
my new official
Really
email
well,
is
yeah.
attached to the bio. It's not new. It's been around forever. It's the company name. Arbit0.com. AronMSound of Arbit0.com.
But you definitely
Carl, I'm sorry. Before I get too far and forget,
right.
let me just
Oh,
bring
also
Carl
realized
into the
that
fold. and give him what I give everybody, which is, you know, let's give him the fair. Everybody, you know, if you're gonna be in the Wild West out there, I'm gonna give you a weapon, and in this case, the weapon is standard mod. Can I get a wood wood? I'll give you a wood wood. Hold on a second. One second. No, over there. There's the wood wood. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Carl. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for putting up with all the tech craziness that I just went through. If you knew how much stuff I just had to go through, it was pretty wild.
Traveling and doing all that stuff, but I feel like the emotional reward is worth it.
Wow.
Seems like I'm slipping right now. Slipping.
No.
Slipping. Yeah, it's
That's
for a second. I'm
never
good.
dance ever.
Not true.
Crazy.
Problem is Melina is probably drunk right now. She's never
I
married.
think what I'm gonna do here
we do some
is,
mushrooms and we go out dancing.
get rid of
I
that
would never
and
do
bring
that.
this up here.
He's like the original.
And use the main screen. Why not? Why not? Let's do that.
Very, very close and very, very
That's
slow.
nice. That's
Why am I growling so much today? Because
Why do you have to show your soft side? Is is being lovey-dovey like disgusting to you?
Problem is that I told her mom I only
sweet.
did that with her, and now she's
Stoic,
watching.
man.
I
I need others.
That male vulnerability is beautiful,
What? Come on.
Destiny. You just had a conversation.
These folks are to me.
Because that's all there is to it.
What about?
That's all there is to it. What are we talking about today? Well, I believe personally that interpersonal relationships are the most base, simple, important things that we must learn. And as someone who's always been a goofball, I have always kind of, been one way or the other for people. Either you get me or you don't. And that's fine. But that also means that I might be a little more challenged than some people. And, hold on a second, I'm sorry, I should have this back on the, there we go, now I can see things. Hey, what's happening? How you doing, Emily? I'm good. I'm actually really good right now. I'm so glad you guys could be here with me. This is a nice little consecutive group we got going on. I'm really stoked. And, I'm setting up new features. Part of the reason why things crashed today is because I was trying new features that, that failed. That failed. Speaking of the admission of fallibility and vulnerability, well, Oh, I got my camera back. Oh, say what? Okay, I'm gonna have a camera. Because it makes a big difference. It really does. Do I not have my camera back? I love, by the way, the magic of that, of being like, anyway, sorry, I'm being silly. I'm being super silly. The truth is my new cameras. Oh, that didn't make anybody happy. There you go, there. Boy, it really didn't like that. Holy mackerel. It said, booyah, bye. That happens. All right, well, I'll keep talking anyways, because I can totally talk about all this. Despite the fact that tech happens. Alright, so what's the deal? I'm talking about how a lot of these folks really don't get very good advice. How a lot of the times we trust them to have an idea, but really, what kind of an idea do they have? I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, other than a lack of solution idea. An idea that never seems to come with a finality to it. That never seems to come with a consideration for people. That never seems to include more than not problematic behavior. Just including first and foremost. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. You might want to make sure to check out the new email on my bio. It's rbit0.com if you want to write an email. And the chat, the call-in lines are open, by the way. sometimes people, when they don't like what you have to say in an email, they'll send it to spam. So, why am I so concerned about all this dating advice that these folks are giving? I mean, they're just people on the internet, right? They're just folks that just have an idea and they want to share it with you. Yeah. But at the same time, they also have a platform that people listen to. And they have a message that tends to not have a result. Or the result is in itself not a good thing. Or, by lack of result, I mean they have a lack of suggestion for solution. Which is even more concerning. So, why am I paying attention to this at all? Well, let me just say that recently, a couple of these folks, they went on a show called Fresh and Fit. And what's important about this is to remember that the dating advice of Fresh and Fit has for quite some time now. Hey, Seven! Shabbat Shalom! What's happening? Hey, hold on a second. Let me make sure to give you the air horn here. Bring the walls of Jericho down! Thank you so much for joining. A lot of technical spectacles today. Just all at the last minute too. Which is awesome. Let me see if I can turn cam back. Oh, she's still not happy, Captain. So we're gonna go dark for a second on the image, but I can still talk to you, and that's okay. So one of the things that is troubling about a lot of the dating advice that these folks would give our youngsters, ourselves, and the folks sitting in basements, playing video games, listening to the man in the little box, the blue hair. Well, the issue with allowing them to just freely decide for all of us that these are the answers for the day. Well, the reason that there's a problem with this at all is because these folks don't have a very good perspective. They don't have a very large spectrum of experience. And that's my argument about it. And their spectrum of experience is kind of wacky. And if I say wacky, I mean not very healthy when you hear it. And I'm wondering, do we just start spreading information that's not very healthy for people just because somebody that a lot of people watch suggests that that's what we should be doing? I mean, is that what we do? Have we just decided that anybody in front of us, they're the cool ones. That's what matters. They got a lot of people, so that's the advice we should take. I have a hard time with that. Because I've had a lot of great relationships with people. I've had a lot of good times with people. I'm like this robot back here. Oh, not that robot. This robot. Hold on, let me find the right page. This one. That guy back there. Oh, you can't see. I'm sorry. Maybe I need to reset everything again. All right, right here. Hold on a second. I got you. There it is. That's the robot I wanted you to see. So, why am I pulling up the robot, making a point of that? Because individuality and vulnerability and interesting things and geekiness and goofiness, well, that's the real stuff, isn't it? At least in my experience, when you meet people on the street and you act vulnerably with them, I've found personally, I don't know about you, I've found personally that folks tend to have a better reaction than when you go at life like this.
Right? Because when you give advice, typically you have to, appeal to the lowest common denominator. So like, there's guys out there, right, that could have been, I'm being honest here, there's guys out there that, could have played basketball back in the day, maybe football, whatever, and their career got smashed because they got a girl pregnant and they couldn't pursue what they wanted to do because they had to be a dad early. True. So what he's saying is, okay, this is how you mitigate risk so you can become a higher status guy. We're going to eliminate all the things that could fuck you up. Now, I want to make this very clear for some of y'all because some of you guys don't understand. I'm not saying I advocate for vasectomies or whatever. I don't have one. I've never gotten one. But what I am saying is that given the context of what he's tweeting for this specific situation, it makes sense because he's saying, hey, these are the ways so that you don't fuck yourself up to ensure that you're going to be successful. He's retard proofing it.
But that is a pretty retarded advice because you're saying do this so that you become more attractive to women. So what's even the point of having a relationship with a woman if you can't have kids with her? Then you're just having an empty relationship just to fuck her for your whole life. And
no, he's saying to become high value, which means you make the choice. Do I want to do that or not? So he's gave you the choice to do that, but once you become high value.
Myron just said that it's to become high value to become attractive to a woman.
Yeah, if that's what you choose.
I feel like we're 2 months away from tweets of like, give your bro like the key to your fucking cock chastity.
It sounds to me like they want to give their bro something more than that, actually. But personally, I think it's just
tweet all the time about how, like,
the idea
women are fucking
that
disgusting, that are
these
freezing their
folks
eggs at like
sneak
20 and they're never gonna find out. And now you've got like guys that go to sperm clinics like, here you go, I'm never gonna be able to impregnate my wife because there's like a 30% reversal rate on this fucking surgery, but maybe in the future I can
let someone like
all the time.
Yeah, like it's like the same
but
shit.
Notice, right, he has 2 points.
Destiny and Sneeko.
Yeah.
Well, depending on
teaming up
for vasectomies?
Yeah, to get it reversed.
against Fresh and Fit, who Sneeko is definitely part of the scene of.
Yeah, but
your 20s.
I mean, they're all in Miami. Not to mention the fact that
Hold on, wait, so you're gonna get
10 years.
Sneeko has long held very extreme views. He's been a red pillar for a long time. They're all prophecy. They're all prophecy. They're all talking about and sharing and proselytizing
9 years.
for Rollo Tomasi, anyways, the inventor of Manosphere, the pickup artist,
Hold on. No,
and essentially the red pill philosophy.
One, avoid what?
Now, what's special about that is the Manosphere is actually on an FBI watch list,
Apply what you need to apply,
which is concerning.
Either or.
And I double checked that. That's some heavy stuff. Why is a men's group on a FBI watch list? Well, I'll tell you why.
Things are to mitigate
Because many of the factions within it
so that you get
are
back to becoming higher status.
extremely upset. They are extremely galvanized. They are extremely, disassociated. And so, disassociation will make folks jump to conclusions.
Go out there and get a vasectomy? No. But he's giving these points
Speaking of
because if you
conclusions.
follow those things, it's going to be very difficult for you to fuck your life up.
Here's a question on that list. He's got 2 things, okay, about your dick, okay, about avoid family creation, get a vasectomy. Is there anything on that list about like just avoid women?
But
avoid temptation.
Hold on. We know as men, we want women no matter what. But whether we want to abstain or be monk mode, it doesn't matter. However, question for you guys on the panel. If you had a kid, be honest here, would you be where you're at right now?
Destiny had a kid at his early 20s.
Yeah.
No. Well, oh, you did?
Yeah, he had a kid.
Oh, he did?
Early 20s.
Yeah, you should probably check out who people are before you, okay, so first off,
Might be on the Fresh
not
and
very
Fit
bright.
podcast right now, but
These folks are not very bright. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that these folks are common denominator. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that these folks are normal. All right, I'm fine with that. Oh yeah, Rollo. He sure as hell did feel it. Let me open the turn cam. Yeah, poor Rollo. That guy. I feel bad for him, honestly. I mean, that's a dude who's long held these beliefs and structures and ideas and really made a lot of money off of it. But in the end, it came to bite him because the people he created were angry because the systems, they don't work. any of us who've had a decent relationship or some kind of semi-healthy relationship or some kind of meeting interpersonally with other people realize that you can't just go be a jerk to folks and have that work out for you. That's just not a thing. I mean, I guess it is if the person you're with likes the abuse, but it's not very common. Not as far as I found. So, in the end, what is the answer? Is it this shit? Is it that shit? Is it any shit? No. Actually, it's awesome, the answer. It's fruitful. It's neat. It's interesting. It's being human. And you may say, oh, Aaron, you're trying to simplify this. You're trying to avoid all the little tiny details of the subject. No. Nope. I'm just being real with you. Because I'm a goofball. And being a goofball means that some of us have had to work twice as hard. No. It came really easy. It comes really easy. I walk up to folks, and if they're open, they'll talk with me. Yeah, wacky old me. Why? Because life is interesting. And then once you find out that things are interesting and the other people are interesting, and normal people are very interesting normally. There's always something that everybody is into. Everybody's got something. And that's part of the deal here, is whether or not we give each other a chance to experience life, whether or not we give each other a chance to be who we are and open ourselves up to, let's say, the unknown, or the uncomfortable, or the unusual. That could be helpful. Because what doesn't work is things like...
I'd be on the Fresh and Fit podcast right now, but I would have been successful in different realms, and maybe I would have taken a different path.
How do you know? Why not just use protection?
Yeah, see,
that's a good point. And he said avoid what? Family creation, which means use a condom too.
No, it doesn't. It says get a vasectomy. That was the advice.
I mean, they're arguing over minutia that is so far from the general...
Is it like the list of 8 things to be successful, pick 5?
Point of good relationships.
Listen,
that these things don't really actually
a faster way to be
apply to healthy interactions, do they?
Mitigate risk.
I mean, like, except for...
Hold on. Okay,
I mean, look at the list. I don't know if you caught the list. Here, let me run that back real quickly.
Under what he's talking,
that list is...
You're
taking it,
but this is a whole other level.
I'm not.
We're taking it literally.
This is the
So
I'd be on the Fresh and Fit podcast right now, but I would have been successful in different realms, and maybe I would have taken a different path.
But this list that they're trying to live to is this list of ideas and not actual solutions.
No, it doesn't.
And they're unreasonable ideas when you're talking about a normal person. They're unreasonable expectations for anybody, and it pits everyone against each other. And here they are. It says, do not get married. The quickest path to becoming a high-value man. Well, do not get married. I thought that was the point, is you want to be married and successful? Okay, so it's do not get married now. All right, avoid family creation. What? Don't you want a lot of offspring to prove that you're the alpha? Okay, so vasectomy in your 20s. What? Lift consistently. So get a vasectomy and then lift. This is starting to sound suspicious. Eliminate all sedations. So don't sleep? Okay, learn game and networking. Oh, so play video games and learn how to set up networks. I understand. That's what's happening here. By the way, yeah. That's what's happening here. Play to your strengths in the games and make sure you know good networking. Aaron, so Abba says, 7 says, Aaron, this guy is Christian CEO from Fresh and Fit. Is paying for sugar daddy arrangement with women, but giving advice to the other tall guy, and he wants only for virgin wives. Is a traditional Muslim. Yes, I often think that while I'm watching. But you know, these ideologies, they go between all of the religious and far extreme in any direction. In all directions, it's always like, for some reason, as soon as you get to that extreme, it's like, she's got to be a virgin. Well, okay, so we're back in the 12th century. How about you, buddy? Oh no, it's fine. I've had 3,000 women. I'm fine. No, what? Look, to each their own, okay? I'm not saying either direction is actually bad. I'm saying everybody has their picadillo, and as soon as you decide that your picadillo is the only picadillo, that's a fuck picadillo. It's an armadillo. It's a fuckadillo. Frankly. And, really, what we're talking about is interpersonal relationships. We're talking about the sense that you're vulnerable, you're interesting, you know how to access other people, and you don't bullshit, and you don't try to turn people into things. You don't try to turn people into ideas, because people aren't ideas, they are people. They're humans. And this humaning is left out. Like 100%. 1,000%. 100,000 million %, 1 billion %. It's like it's just not part of it. And most of it, Emily says, my children are my greatest blessing. I agree. Our children in general are our greatest blessing. Not only that, but our friends, our acquaintances, our loved ones, our neighbors. Really? I mean, we have people in our lives, we have children, we have our husbands and wives and significant others, because we want connection. But we don't get connection when we demand, I am right. That doesn't make anybody want to be connected to us. That makes people want to be like, yeah, excuse me. Yep, no. By the way, if you ever hear me or see me read that online, you can just clip that so you can hear what it actually sounds like. It's no. Okay, so why am I able to give this advice? I believe I have a little bit better of an experience. Hey, tiny dancers. Woo! Get out of here. Don't need anything extra today. Tiny dancers. That's, you know. If the main cam ain't working. Like that. And the lesson today is like, if Rollo Tomasi is pushing, do not get married. Avoid family creation. Aaron, I've read Quran 30 editions and I know what is written, Quran, and no traditional Muslim, and also no extremist ideas. Yeah, absolutely, Seven. And let me ask you, Seven, does this shit sound extremist to you like it does me? Does this behavior sound extremist to you as it does me? Because it sounds like angry dudes. It sounds like guys that don't get out the house. It sounds like folks that, and you know what, there's a whole thing of Myron telling you what he's about. So let's go take a look at that. And by the way, I have some solutions here, but I want to make an example about the behaviors of why these folks might be telling you this stuff. What is it about them that makes them tell you that you should do all the wrong shit based off of their wrong shit? Oh, well. It's all about leverage.
And you need to have most of the leverage, and you need to care about the relationship less than she does, is my point.
Okay.
In every relationship, one person is needed more than the other. No, I'm saying the woman should need you more than you need her.
That's
my argument.
Horrible relationship advice.
Okay. Oh, okay, Destiny. Yes, it's horrible relationship advice. You little prick. Excuse me. What? Moron? And this guy sitting next to that guy? You're gonna sit next to that guy and be like, that's horrible. It's my freaking blue hair. I'm gonna eat a chicken biscuit just cause. All right, I'm done with my chicken biscuit. You have the worst relationships known to man. Your interpersonal skills are just flawed, sir, on every level. Why are you here? Oh, never mind. And everything falling apart today. It's okay. It's part of the show. So, why? The chicken biscuit. Yes, Emily. I saw them in the store the other day. I was like, chicken biscuit. Now, folks, I'm not advertising anything here, but if you're not familiar with chicken biscuit and you want a mouthful of MSG that you just won't put down, chicken biscuit. Anyways, taste it. Oh, freaking addictive. It's the truth. Yeah, Lita. Go grab your chicken biscuit. I should tell him. They need to grab. I'll tell you what. Myron needs to grab his own chicken biscuit. Anyway. So. And away we go. And, oh, well, Stream Elements, you're a little behind, buddy. You're a little behind. Stream Elements is like, are we doing a show? I just showed up. We're doing a show. Stream Elements, yeah. While ago, bot buddy. And some people have bot buddies. Be safe. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, one of the very few crackers I'll say are delicious. Yes. Anyhow, so why am I so contentious about this dude Sneeko and this dude with the blue hair? Yeah, Destiny Blue Hair practices open relationship and exposes children to adult content, conversations, lifestyle while playing video games in 10 to 14. Yes, indeed. I do have a little bit of an issue with these folks being anybody to give anybody relationship advice. Healthy relationship advice. Normalized, sensitive. Yeah, I mean, like, to each their own. Now, Seven, but absolutely, it's kind of not the best example. Unless you're talking about that. But they're talking about normal hetero-cis relationships, or they're talking about significant other relationships, or they're talking about just one-on-one, 1v1, which is what it normally turns into. 1v1 relationships. And frankly, folks, I think it's disingenuous for any of these folks to be claiming a hierarchy of knowledge. You know, and it's upsetting in a lot of cases for me to see that. This is just exactly. Oh, look at them! They ate up Rolo Tomasi. They ate up this whole thing. What they eat? What, they came on and contradicted the other behaviors from earlier? What, they came in and proved how stupid the stupid guys were that we knew were stupid in the first place? Yeah, that's exactly what the frick happened, actually. It's like, oh wow, you guys came in and just made an easy dunk. Matumbo playing against, Spud Webb. Be impressed with yourself. That's how these folks tend to work, though. Which is the weirdest thing, is they'll be like, I did something that is totally obviously easy, and I did it protected. So pat myself on the back. Yep, because I really smashed that one. Can I get my trophy now? Thank you. I keep forgetting I gotta just bring in all my trophies. And they're not participation. Now, as someone who's had as many ups and downs in relationships in my life, great loves, terrible loves, fuck ups and fuck downs, I am someone who will openly tell you they aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. Nothing is perfect. And it's about how we hang in. It's about how we see each other as equal. And not so much whether or not somebody, we do research on our enemies. Anyone who exposes children to adult content is my enemy. Like Melanie King. Hey, I don't know if I can use strong language like that. But it's why I've taken a number of moments, and I'll share this with you folks. I don't know if you saw it posted the other day. Let's see if I can get to my my pictures without totally doxing myself here. It's not like I haven't had this up a bunch of times. Oh, let me see. Where is it? Oh, that's my cat! That's me! Make it make sense. It's Sarah Garvey basically taking my TV's words. That's me buying a ticket to someone's show. That's, yes, where is it? Oh, there it is. There's, the Orps were apparently banned in Destiny. And then I keep a lot of things. I do. Oh, hey, hold on a second. Cite your sources! Yes. What am I doing here? Oh, this is what I'm doing. I got a new message from Destiny. I got permanently banned for participating in Destiny's whatever the fuck that is. Being that I use my Chatterton characters, Reddit, Bumpy Engorged Dragon Foreskin, you know. You think I'm concerned? I don't. In fact, this is the win for me, because how do I get banned from Destiny's Reddit? Oh, just ask him about the allegations of using defamatory behavior and not filing a lawsuit while using defamatory behavior and not filing a lawsuit. Now, you may think that's circular, but I want you to take it apart, because what happened was me asking him about a certain number of details and describing the behavior and the facts, because you can write as much as you want on Reddit. And, when it comes under Bumpy and Gorge Dragon Foreskin, boy, people really take notice, apparently. I mean, because it's BMP, DRGN, Thor, Skin. So, yeah, Bumpy and there's an engorged in there, but it's like spelled wrong wonderfully. So, keep an eye out for me, kids. In any case, yeah, Bumpy Engorged Dragon Foreskin said something to the extent of, Destiny, do you have any comment about blah, 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 engaging in defamatory systems and utilizing your acolytes to collect information for you as an act of intent. Being that you're planning on filing a lawsuit, I have not been able to find in the public record. Because maybe it hasn't been filed, or maybe it's just a public cease and desist verbally. But you're going to go see your lawyer. You said that the other day, but you were still on stream all 10 hours. But, I mean, hey, evidence and words, they matter. Associations matter. And whether or not you're actually creating a show, or just talking a bunch of bloviating stuff and then putting threat on people from your position, well, that frickin' matters. Because there's rules about that stuff. Now, there may not be laws, but there's rules. And the difference is that rules are upheld by the people around. And that's a good thing. Just like how in my chat, everybody keeps the peace. Why? Because that keeps the fucking peace. Everybody is more respectful when they know that other people have the equality. And equality can come in many ways. And mutual destruction is one of them. It's the unfortunate one, but sometimes it's necessary. But is mutual destruction necessary if, in fact, nobody needs it any longer? Because everybody's special if everybody's normal, and everybody's normal when everybody's special. I know, it's circular logic in a lot of cases. But these are connected tissue. These are behavioral practices that mean something. How do I tie them into this? Well, if you're thinking things are about leverage, that interpersonal relationships are about leverage, I'm gonna get you out from underneath, I got control over you. I'm sorry, let me stop for a second. 7 asks, what you can do to psychological development of children, exposing them to that kind of material is irreversible. Agreed. The parents have a right to sue in criminal court and civil court. Also Fed's Justice Department. And I have found a lot of examples of that. Yeah, actually, 7. Specifically, the lawsuit against McDonald's by a lawyer over the effervescing of salt, paraffin wax, and a couple of interesting chemicals in the lining wall of a McDonald's Happy Meal. Now, you may ask, Aaron, how does this relate to all this? Well, that, if you want to talk about that, is chemically inducing an addiction. And an addiction can be had in many different ways. And it can also be learned behavior. And we can teach people bad behaviors from an early age to where they never get out of those bad behaviors. And they think that those bad behaviors are normalized. Whether it be falsely associating ideology and personality, or maybe an idea gets mixed in with somebody's being instead of seeing an idea as just an idea. You know, stuff that people go to witch hunts over. Anyhow, that's an extreme, but I'm taking it to the end of the thought. Because when you think that it's about leverage.
So let me explain a few things here. I wasn't able to do this the last time you guys were talking about this, but so about, gosh, is it now 2 weeks ago? I think it was Tuesday of last week. You guys had Brandon Carter on. Is that with Derek Moneyberg? Or was that Monday?
Monday.
Why does it smell like
back up there? So Monday, you guys were talking to Brandon Carter. One of the things that Brandon was talking about was you gotta love money. You gotta be on top.
7 says feds have laws put in place for sexual predators sending stuff and saying stuff to children over the internet. Yes, true, Aaron. Exactly agree. No, this is true. There are definitely laws about children's interactions, and there are laws governing behavior on the net and also behavior in this space as well. And they are tough to enforce sometimes. But I just saw myself move out of the way. So they're tough to enforce sometimes, and essentially, it's like coffee in someone's ass. I'm sorry. No, it's it. The video even. Sorry. So, Rollo, let me roll you back. Let me just get you a little further away. No, Rollo. Down, Rollo. Who names our child Rollo? That can't be his name. It's got to be Rudolph or something. I'll have to look that up. I should have looked that up.
So being, if that's money, that's
I'm not going to get to the point
now. That's what we tend to focus on right now. But if I'm going to say that,
value man is a guy that has the things that makes him a high value man.
All right,
the things that make you a high value man. Okay, what is that? You know, we've been trying to. We're never going to define it.
Just kind of.
Wait, did Rollo just ask Destiny to define his term? Wow, that's a loss. That's a big ol' L. I hate to quote the WL community. Big ol' L. You got Big L. Big L. In fact, just for that, I'm gonna give him the old. Woo. So, as Rollo sips his matcha and his IBS kicks in, I shared this portion with you because I just wanted to share with you the characters who are defining the relationships of the current day. The only person missing here is Tate, but you don't need him. He's no better than any of the rest of them, except he's worse because he's got a lot of money. And he's got a lot of friends with money. And those friends have influences in all kinds of places, political and otherwise. So that's why we should be concerned about that. But Rollo, no, he's just a guy down in Costa Rica who's down there because, you know, it's cheap. And people accept that kind of behavior. And I'm sure, you know, I don't know what his marriage status is or what that is, but you know, you can get away with a little more machismo in a country that accepts it. But what we're really here to talk about is how can we do better? How can we do better than these folks? If Blue Hair thinks he can escape persecution, digital footprint can be traced by the feds and experts. Yes, without question, that is the truth. We saw that this week with the Texas shooter, who was directly influenced by, as he said, Nick Fuentes and Just Pearly Things on their program. And I quote from his manifesto, that the influence of nihilism over believing that he had no ability to meet with a woman, and then taking a test that said he was a trans man or a trans person. I apologize, misspeaking. And you know, this is a confused individual who's then getting messages that were even more confused. And that wouldn't be too much of a problem if we hadn't already seen. Yeah, I was actually about to bring that up, Seven. That if we hadn't already seen that with Rollo, you know, this guy, he's been around this scene as the pickup artist for a very long time, and stuff like this has happened before. Except it used to be attacks on dates and such, and you know, why are we not concerned about this? Why are we not thinking about these folks who've been around for a long time, and well, we can't just take them down? No, but we seem to be able to do something about their presence, or ignoring them, or at least putting the idea into the system that we ignore them and that their talk means nothing, because this is pickup artist stuff that went away in the early 90s, rearing its head now. And the people it was popular to then were the Reagan boys and the yuppies who couldn't get a date because they were socially awkward. But the truth is those folks all found women, they all found dates, we all found one thing or another, but not everybody. And that's part of the honesty too, is just being honest that not everybody, it doesn't work out for everybody, but you can make friends. Doesn't mean that you can't make friends and connections and loved ones and find other outlets and access your sexuality. Yeah, Mystery, thank you. I was looking for that guy's name. Mystery, that's right. The late night 976 guys. Rollo was the pickup artist. I remember that because I know people who had the book. Let me add in the chat on this space. Hold on a second. Let me get the window capture in here. Add existing for shot. Oh, look at the shot. Everybody likes a nice shot. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. My pleasure, Seven. No, I appreciate you. You've been bringing some great topics up. I wish my front camera, I gotta figure out what the hell's going on with this. I was working 8 minutes ago, and then when the thing went down, 8 minutes ago, an hour and a half ago, I'm just gonna keep trying, because you know I'm techie, and I'm just gonna keep trying. So, there, I see my. All right, I gotta stretch that. I gotta stretch it. That's what's going on. Anyways, what can we do about this? Well, for real, I was tripped out when the one good piece of information in this whole video that I watched, which was a lot, it was like 2 hours long. Folks, I will never get that freaking time back. I'm never getting that time back! Chicken biscuit. Shit soothes the soul. That's catharsis for you. Chicken biscuit. Good God. Whoever invented chicken biscuit, thank the MSG lords. Let me tell you. Woo! My mayonnaise pump is pumping. It's the MSG. Ah! Anyhow. Oh yeah, and the caffeine. The amount of caffeine. I am literally made of 9/10 caffeine, if you didn't know. By the way, I have started a tip jar, not for me, but for the daycare center down at the end of my block, which is basically just a mobile home up on bricks that, with a basketball court and, you know, some playpen stuff. I think the Pepsi folks put or somebody did. A playground was donated. It's for after-school folks, for the lesser fortunate kids in the community, which there's a lot of, and it's also for everybody. It's for everybody. Basically, it's across from the park, but it's purely donation and volunteer oriented, and it's It's at the corner of my block. So if you feel like donating at any time, or it does not go to me, I take every dime and I walk it down to the corner. And that's actually what I do, because the liquor store where I go get my sodas and whatever, smokes and such, is right, like, you know, you can't miss either one of them. So I normally, when I have change and stuff like that, I put it in the box where they take private donations. So just know that that's what I would do. And I do actually have a loop in now too, just by the way, totally separately. It's in the bio, Emily. And I'm gonna collect $100, and then I'll take it down. So I'm gonna build up a little tip jar, and I'm not sure if it's showing yet, but I should have a clicker. I'm still figuring out Streamlabs. It's just, you know, it's all kinds of stuff. It would be it's like a PayPal tip. It should say tip jar in the bio. If it maybe didn't go up. I don't know. Hold on a second. Let me take a look. In fact, I should check that, because let me see. It should be in the about. No, not my picture. Go over to community, channels about, and then it's down below. No. Ooh. YouTube is mean. YouTube is mean. Hot dang. They're like, you're not making money. And it's like, all right, hold on. I'm trying to. Anyways. I'll figure that one out. It'll be up there soon. What you can see is the loop bin. Now I have to make coffee because of you. Sorry, Seven. But cheers to you, because caffeine makes up the lower. Everything below here is caffeine. I'm just held together by the coffee in here. So Emily, I'll get it up, and I appreciate. Actually, the kids appreciate that. Because it is coming summer, and this is the time when it starts to strike back up. And I'll take pictures of it at some point. It's ghetto looking. It's pretty ghetto. See, I'm not gonna lie. I feel bad every time. That's why I've been giving money to it, and it's in my neighborhood. So, and you know, it's a great neighborhood. It's very small. It's very rural. So I support it, which is why I'm all about interpersonal relationships. I can't not see my neighbors. I don't have any of that stuff really. I have at some point I want to have it more formative and formal. I would go down, if I was really going to do like a full-on drive, I'd get the folks that are the neighborhood leaders of that, because they're also over at the park too. Cheers to you. Thank you. And honestly, so I also, if at some time you do feel like really inspired, because I'm likely never going to make money out of this. I curse too much, and that's fine. I'm looking for a sponsor separately, because I really want to do this on a bigger scale and do something a little bit more for y'all, because I have ideas, as you can well imagine. So I'm working on that, and but separately, I also I have a loop in. I stole it from it's up there. It's a and I don't expect anything, but it's one of those things where some of the products in there are pretty darn cool, and I as opposed to getting money from people, for me, I don't want money. That's not my thing. I'd rather us give money to a charity. I'd rather us, if you're going to spend money, do it in something that matters, and that's why I did. If you notice it, I'm not trying to make money. I have no interest in that, but I did put a list of things in there. There's like 20 items or something like that that I was like, oh, that's cool. I actually could use some of those. That's fun. That's a piece of tech I need, and most of it is pretty inexpensive. Not saying go buy something. In fact, don't. It is there because I don't expect to be monetized, and I figured I'd put it out there now. That way nobody can ever say, oh, he's trying to make loot. You're trying to make clout. No. I'm just showing you something. And I'm sharing with you. If at some point you decide to share with me, that's great, but I don't want it to be money, unless you're going to give to the kids. Because children, I believe the children are our future. It's true. I mean, younger people, anybody, we are our future. For the kids. Yes, it's a big deal. And if I didn't have the experiences or influences or the mentors that I had, I wouldn't have seen the world. I wouldn't have tried half the things. Amen to you too, Seven. It's so important, and so many other people. The loop bin is called Throne. It's up there. It's actually in the banner. Why Throne works and the PayPal that said. In fact, it's creeping me out that it's not up there. Why Throne worked and the PayPal that had the donate to children written on it isn't up there. I pressed the button. It was late at night, but anyhow, let me see. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Hold on a second. Oh, I have to. Oh, you know what? It would take me too long to find this. To be honest with you, I'll put it up later, Emily. Not to dismiss you at all, but it's just it's like buried on a page that I have to go to, and it's very specific because it's a PayPal tip jar thing specifically for the donation to the spot. So I'll have the link up there hopefully after the show today. Children of the future, yes, and especially in this neighborhood, if you knew where I lived, kids run around in the wild, and when I say in the wild, I mean like my neighborhood is pretty wild. I kind of wish I had grown up here, because and thank you, Emily, for that. I'm going to, in fact, what I'll do is I was hoping that at some point I would, once I gathered like $100, I'd take it over there and make a little video of you guys seeing me like dumping the money in the box, that kind of thing, because the lockbox and everything. It'd just be like, we win. We're fucking awesome because we win. Anyways, yeah. So let's get back to dating, because this is really something important that we need to talk about. Vulnerability, allowing ourselves the interaction and interpersonal capabilities. Let's change the beat. A little more sexy, right? Alright. So, interpersonal interaction is not something that we can force on one another. It's not something we can scream about. It's not something that we can demand or expect or be entitled to. It's just not. It's not how it works, right? And I think most of us who are healthy know that. So one of the things that came up that I was quite shocked to hear the little blue guy say.
What is we both initiate? I mean, we don't
No. The awesome thing about it, Emily, is I would never. I'm actually fairly easy to find, but like to find where I am, that's a challenge for anybody. Even when I found the land that I built, I'm building my house. Even the land to find this place, when I was driving out, I'm like, where the hell am I going? I'm not that far from the valley. What the hell? No, I'm actually, I love this place. But yeah, I know I won't dox myself, and honestly, I'd be worried about my neighbors if somebody came out here. I'd be like, no, don't do it, Matthew. Because my neighbors are awesome. Like, amazing. Shout out to Katie. Shout out to everybody. Matthew. Awesome people. My neighbors are awesome people. Anyhow.
Go as personal as you want. We broke up.
No, you were personal about the great dinner table story, so you're not going to get personal.
We're going to move on, man. Yeah, we'll move on. All right, we got here Cam from TMR Radio. Stop the cap. Statistically, abstinence preaching doesn't work. The whole point of his post was risk mitigation. Sneako's being obtuse for clicks. This is actual female-ish arguing like this.
Well, it doesn't have to be abstinence, but also just realize the risk. Like when you go and have sex with a girl, understand that you could get her pregnant, and then take responsibility for it if that does happen. Like if you're gonna exercise discipline in every single aspect of your life, you need a network. You can't watch porn. You can't play video games. You can't smoke weed, but you can fuck a bunch of feminist hoes who you don't want to have kids with. That's stupid.
Sneako, I agree with you, but here's the problem.
Hey, hold on a second. Did he sound like a 14-year-old demanding? But you're crappy. It's just a bunch of crappy people screaming at each other. But the point that I was trying to make there was the fact that.
What is we both initiate? I mean, we don't need to get personal.
We can go as personal as you want. We broke up.
No, you were personal about the great dinner table story, so you're not going to get personal.
We're going to move on, man. Yeah, I'll move on. All right, we got here Cam from TMR Radio. Stop the cap. Statistically, abstinence preaching doesn't work. The whole point of his post was risk mitigation. Sneako's being obtuse.
Well, the whole point is risk mitigation.
Who you don't want to have kids with. That's stupid.
Sneako, I agree with you, but here's the problem.
The point of a relationship.
Better than getting a vasectomy.
Just say abortion is fake. Okay?
Better than getting a vasectomy.
Listen, abortion is fake.
Better than getting a vasectomy.
Better
than you don't want to have kids with. That's stupid.
Nico, I agree with you, but here's the problem. You did smash. You did plan B, right? Why don't you keep it?
Okay, better than getting a vasectomy.
Just say abortion is fake, okay?
So essentially, it's all about all of the things that aren't about the relationship. Oh, it's cool. We're about to get to the good part here, Lita, because we can forget about these schmoes. I was just demonstrating all of the misinformation, the nonsense, the childish adolescent approach to relationship behavior. So here's where the good stuff comes in, because I want to talk about some solutions and some behaviors that I think most of us who have a decent relationship or have had a decent relationship or who date healthy or who have interpersonal relationships that aren't completely foul or who aren't demanding upon other people in general, or just who can walk up to other people and be friendly. Oh, don't expect they're going to do something wrong. Oh, thank you, Seven. I apparently am pretty dangerous. That's what I keep being told. Enigmatic, even. That's kind of wild. I can't imagine. Hopefully, Stream Elements isn't doing something weird. I still have to figure all of that out. By the way, I apologize if Stream Elements is out there like modding. Anyways, it's like booting everybody from my chat, not knowing anything. So, Lita, one of the things that I'm absolutely fascinated about is how none of these folks who are so strong in their point of view, who think they're so alpha, that's manly alpha. I add the manly in there because they have to prove they're manly. Like, take manly. I'm the man. Yeah. Well, I think we all know. When you have to prove like that, when you have to demand, well, maybe you're not so much the alpha, but more the mommy, which is not bad, unless you're claiming to be daddy and then you're just confused. And that's not to say that, you could be the other way around. You could be daddy, saying I'm daddy and you're mommy, so you're just confused. How about you're the family dog and you're saying you're both? You're confused. I am not relating this to anything else. I'm just making a metaphor for absolute confusion. Human plasma, dog plasma. Anybody old enough to remember that? Anyway. Oh, hello, dear. Yeah. Anyways, absolute non sequitur. It's an old, it's not Friz Freeling. It is a, oh gosh. Talk about taking me back. It's way before my time. It's a 1940s cartoon. Spike Jones. Noggin. Anyways, now I won't remember anything for the rest of the day. Thanks. And it was all over a non sequitur. So what's important here is that we are vulnerable to other humans. We're vulnerable in the moment. We are self-admitting. We have humility and humor about ourselves, which allows people to have humor. Allows other people to allow us to have that humor. Why? Because people are freaking forgiving when they see that you're forgiving. When they see that you have grace, they tend to be graceful themselves. Even the cruelest, biggest ass falls apart, as we've all seen right here in this chat. These people, right? Y'all have seen this. I'm pointing at my phone right now, and I'm used to looking at the camera over here. But it's over here. So I'm like, where am I? Where am I? Anyways, happens. This is like, I had it for a couple shows now. I had a Twitch last night. It was like 5.5 hours. Everything was fine. Anyway. Don't let a side topic pull you away from the important topic. Don't let what seems to be somebody's agenda override your senses or your sense of projection about somebody's perceived agenda, meaning the one that you think they have. But since we're not psychics, not any of us, except for a very rare few. Well, those can be true, but most of us, we don't know what the fuck's going on. And if we do, somebody give me the damn lottery numbers, would you please? Thank you. Alright. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Yes. is this taking us? This is taking us to vulnerability. Why? Because without being vulnerable, nobody wants to care. Nobody wants to attach. Nobody wants to be close to somebody who isn't going to show you at least an inkling that they're imperfect. And why? Because it's not safe. Literally, not safe. It is a base behavior of human understanding to not allow somebody who is perfect into our realm, because then we might be held to their standards, or they might be feigning perfection. And nobody wants to be next to someone who's bullshitting. Except for, you know, those laughing guys. They're having a great time together, manly men being malfa. Together, sweating. In the Miami heat. Nothing against Miami, but it's just too sweaty. It's so sweaty. Not as sweaty as Louisiana, but New Orleans has charm. Miami just has, like, this music twice the speed, 3 times as loud. Anyhow. But that's just like when you go to Zara and, you know, the mall. Imagine when you go to the club. A friend of mine owns a very popular series of clubs and taco bars down there. So. What up, Rebecca? Nobody is perfect, Emily. That is absolutely correct. And as soon as we accept that about each other, what happens? We become much more, well, rationally friendly. We become reasonable. We become, you know, more than less. Oh. Is the Zoom going? Uh-oh. Ah. No, and I'm just making sure that it didn't go away. Did you see Latino Fresh and Fit Bozos? Oh my God, did I see them? Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's the same set! I've never seen somebody come up with somebody else's idea before. Shit was astonishing. I don't know about you. Thank you for bringing that up. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but that I'd be really. I mean, like, so tell me you couldn't come up with a critically original idea, but don't tell me that you couldn't come up with. Yeah, no, they those fools, bozos. Just give them some. We should literally. I think some people, when you go get your driver's license, should be handed a bozo, you know, wig, just cause. You're like, I'm sorry. You did pass the driver's test, but you failed the bozo test. Woo! I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'd be wearing one. How would we actually give that test? I know what I'm going to hear when I get back to the Discord server. How would we actually apply that test, Aaron? Oh, so you think that people are... Just come on. Calm down, Madam R. I will not defend this. I will not die on this hill. I actually do... Yeah, no. Seven, I will go back to the Discord, and somebody will actually, like, relate my metaphor to reality somehow, and then ask me how many children have been aped because of it. I mean, like, it's some really crazy stuff. If you don't know what I just said there, I just broke up the word because you can't say that word on here. So, not even if you're talking about it clinically. Yeah. Alright, so where do we look? Oh yeah! Did I just Azure Sphere you? In the middle of the show? Yeah! Woo! Yeah, no, I've been working on it. Sorry. I front loaded and then I decided to break it out. I'm doing something different.
Fuck my life.
So what am I gonna look? What am I gonna show you as an answer?
Hi. How's it going? That's the best you could get out of me.
Hi, just wanted to say I thought you were really cute. You're also really tall, just my type.
So what are we looking at?
Do you want to get
We're looking at vulnerability.
Your smile is very beautiful.
And if you feel like me when you watch this.
Oh, that's weird. That is Show me
I love how
my
each of
flirt is
them.
awkward. Listen, when I hit on the males, the men,
The menses?
it's
The menses?
like this. Comes out a little weird. Does it work? Quirky
She
is a
cute.
vibe. So yes.
I think I like weird things about people.
He
I
cute.
asked him if he wanted to see my
She cute.
Spider-Man suit.
Why are they cute? Why are they adorable?
One of my first dates with my
Why is she
boyfriend, I
adorable?
declared the
Even if they're not your type.
I wouldn't say
What?
Because their heart is hanging out of their
So I
chest.
just started like muttering. He was like, "What are you saying?" So I spoke up and I just
Because they're being earnest. You can see it in their cheeks and their eyes and the way that their head is relaxed.
Them on something. I'm like, did I follow you on Instagram already? And then I get them to follow me, and then
And this guy, this one, he's Don Juan.
online more so it's like weird to do it
And she's,
in person.
look at her.
You know, voice
She's got that little, both of them have that little smirk like, I don't want to take you to town.
Flirty emoji, like the kissy faces, the like wet
You too.
emoji.
I mean, that's the thing, is they're all really adorable and attractive. Why?
Heart eyes, I think, are cute.
Even the unbathed dude probably smells like a foot normally.
And they're like, I think.
Why are they all adorable? It's because they are literally being open and vulnerable for the camera.
Context is huge for me, so I'll definitely like look deep and like just
Even bro dude.
I just
Dude bro.
at their eyes, and usually they're taller, so I just kind of look up at them.
How do you flirt?
Oh my god.
They're all flirting already, but that's the whole point here. It's in their eyes. It's in their openness. It's in their vulnerability. What's important? And why is that important? Well, if we close ourselves off, if we deny ourselves and others that striking position and that openness in our eyes of hope, of intention, of enticement, titillation, companionship, equality, sensitivity, emotional intellect. Well, when we run down the path of these things in our head, in our spirit, in our backbone, they happen very quickly. So if you stump them with negative thought, or you stump them with questioning, which people like Myron and the guy with the blue hair and many of the others, well, they would have you do. They'd have you question everything. And I'm bringing a solution to the table right here. Don't do that. You don't need $1 million. You don't need to be 6'10". You don't need to be anything much other than you. Why? Because it's about, are you cool? Are you happy? And what if you say to me, well, I'm not cool? Well, no, that's you saying that to you. Or maybe that's the world saying that to you, and then it's time to make some healthier adjustments. And one of those adjustments will be, I cover this a lot, and I've been going really into this in the ministry of the Flying Pig on Sunday. And frankly, that's what it's about. Letting things go and being one with others. Now, it's very hard. You may say, well, how can I trust people? How can I? Well, how can people trust you if you feel that way? Because it goes in a two-way street. Actually, I'd argue it goes in a four-way street because there's two other lanes that you have to cross. Those two other lanes are the rest of the world's input and influence around each of you. Or all of you, if you're in a polyamorous relationship, or you're in an open relationship, or you're in an asexual relationship, or and if you are, I hope you're loving yourself well. Because that's all we can really freaking do. So if you're going to say to me that the only answer is to be a millionaire, to have a 12-inch dong, or tighter vaginas, because you had 3 surgeries and your badonk is 12 feet wide, you can leave 12 drinks on it and walk away at the club with them, but you paid for it. Look, you do all of that. Do whatever you like, whatever makes you feel good. But don't expect that to be the end-all be-all of you. Because vulnerability and the ability to... Oh my God. Hey, how you doing? No, all. I want to hear what happened with your dick. Tell me. You can't do that and be really interested. How are you going to meet someone? How are you going to connect? How are we going to find that middle ground between us? It's way less likely, I'd suggest. But that's, once again, not adding the solution. What are the solutions here? The solutions are letting go of your fears, connecting to each other, and maybe giving people a chance to see you as vulnerable if you're not, and also giving yourself a chance to be vulnerable. Why is this important? Because, once again, if you aren't vulnerable, you don't get to see all the spark, or someone else doesn't. And then how can they trust you? And that's just the first phase. After that, you got to follow it up with action. Be there all the time. Be interested. Not be a lazy ass. Bathe. Take care of yourself. Or at least bathe in equal proportions of your person that you're interested in. But, you know, give a damn about them. Don't try to solve their problems, but be there to hear. And then support them if they ask for your solutions. But this is one of those solutions that no one needs to ask me for. Because I can walk up to a stranger and meet them and say hello, and I tend to get a good response. Every once in a while you don't, but most of the time you do. Because she got it. Like, she's a runway model right there, right? Am I wrong? She's fabulous. Hold on, I'm in her way. Hold on, let me get out of the way. I am fully in the way here. Take a moment. She might not be your type, but she is freaking fire right there. And that's what it takes. You gotta light yourself on fire in that sense, in a very positive way. You gotta light yourself up. You gotta be your own hype person. Because nobody's gonna hype you. You can't expect anybody to hype you. And trust, do not take the advice of your closest friends if they're not telling you earnest, constructive criticism about behavior, looks, if they're not there to be with you. And the only thing you hear is, oh, absolutely, yes, they might not be really in your best interest. They might be just saying that because, because they don't know either, which is a lot of what I hear nowadays is just echo chambers. People telling each other, you're right because I'm right, and if I'm not right, then I will feel less than. And if I'm not valid, then... What does that mean? It means that people like to hold their connections of being correct in a tribal state to feel valor and validity. And that's not unusual, but most of the time, individuals who have a strong moral or ethical base, they don't need the group. Or if they're just totally wildly insane. But those insane people, individuals, they tend to do way better in life. Because they don't give a damn about all the fear tactics sold by our friends, families who might have us do less than because they did less than or experienced less than, which is one of the most common things that I personally experience is people try to equate their lack of experience to my life of experience. And it's not a competition. I did the exceptional shit. And I did it from a young age. And I set my whole life to do these things. I only just chilled out, kind of. And apparently not. But, you know. Point being is, we can't judge others by ourselves. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own a-hole. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own accountability. Everybody has their own responsibility. And we all have our own brand of everything, from looks to smiles to thoughts to dreams to hopes to wants to desires to picadillos to favorite flavor of ice cream. And why is that important? Because if you consider that and you extrapolate that to the rest of humanity, all 8 billion of us, thank you, Techno. Well, that's a lot of options. And there's no lack of options. So it can't be monoclastic. It can't be monaural. It can't be monolithic. So what is it? Oh, it's a whole lot of options and chances for everyone. Now, why would the other side be selling that bullshit? Well, because they don't want people to believe that they can have love in just a simple meet someone on the street kind of way. And then there's another side that would say, how dare you walk up to the absolutely privileged, but I'm not going to say I'm privileged, person who, oh my God, you're going to be doing something terrible to me if you just walk up to me. Well, okay, chill the fuck out. That's part of it too. Both sides need to chill the fuck out. Stop turning it into something that it isn't. That's what y'all did, whoever's doing that. You turned it into something you didn't need to, and you did it to get the same validation that a 12-year-old gets from snitching on the playground. Now, that is not to minimize the real issues, but we're not talking about the real things that need to be brought to light. No, we're talking about dating. And the real issue with dating, and the real issue with interpersonal relationships, is that all those other things that are very extreme somehow have blended into the normal. And they're being falsely associated and equivalated to the normal. And what does that do? Well, it takes away all of her and our ability to interact with her, right? Because suddenly, maybe I'm afraid to talk to her, or maybe she's afraid to talk to me, or maybe there's a reason why we should just be careful, or maybe, no, this is a scam on many levels. We need to take the serious thing serious and allow for our spaces of interpersonal behaviors to be freed from the shackles of expectations. Meaning give everybody a chance to be themselves. Give everybody a chance to be not associated to terrible things first, but to find out about a person. And that's in general, on all sides. But it is the consistent expectation, projection, and presentation of that by both sides that's fucking it up for the rest of us. Even worse, we all know this. So it's just a dance. But it's a really unruly, fucked up dance. And it's unnecessary. And it's being propagated to sell materials and projects and buildings and practices and lessons from folks that have nothing but a cult of personality surrounding them. Or maybe some blue hair. Which is fine. I know people with blue hair, but they aren't sitting online for 10 hours a day telling you that they're the most experienced person in the room when they haven't left the room for 10 years because they've been playing video games. Make that, to quote Mike TV, and I'll give him the quotes, make it make sense. Because that's not Star Garvey, that's Mike TV. See?
So, if it
Oh,
were you and me
what the fuck?
in a bar,
Please cut that.
What was that?
I definitely touch my hair a lot.
it's a lot of moving my hair.
I watched this. I didn't catch that last time.
Please cut that.
I don't even know what I feel about this right now.
You know, if it were you and me in a bar,
Totally get it.
Here he comes. Is he supposed
were
to
you
know
and
that?
me in a bar, I
Anyways.
probably would scope it out. Maybe I'd be on the dance floor and I'd be trying to catch your attention.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, get up on the dance floor. But men can't do that. Women can.
Please put that.
By the way, that's part of the problem now. Is the rules in general have never been quite the same, but now when they should be the same, they're still not, and they're actually more extreme. And I got to say something about that. Because equality is both of us being equal. And if you just, let me just kill all of the stat stuff. Abuse is equal, and in relationships, it tends to be happening from women to men more often, believe it or not. Just go look at the stats, it's shocking. But in general, 0.05%. 0.05% of people in general. 0.05%. Let me say it again. 0.05. Not even 0.5%. 0.05% of 300 plus million people are likely to be abusive or will commit a crime or hurt someone. So I'm thinking maybe most people should stop expecting other people to be evil and hurtful. Maybe give folks the benefit of the doubt, because what's going on is an undermining of our societal interpersonal capabilities. And the argument against it is just bloviating bullshit for a bag. You want me to say it again? Bloviating bullshit. I'll say it fast. Bloviating bullshit for a bag. Motherfuckers want a bag so bad that they'll just sell everybody else up the river and expect that it'll be fine. These kids will be fine. No, it's up to us to be like, yo, when we see the lonely, introduce them. When we get to change some of these interpersonal rules back to the things that work, which is sharing your friends with your friends, building your friend group, getting outside. And I mean, not outside your house in the yard. I'm talking about going places, meeting people, introducing yourself, and stopping the stigma of assholery. There is nothing cool about the mean girl. There's a movie about it, and there's several. One of them is called Heathers. And I think the younger generation missed all that shit. Instead, we've instilled, and revived repeatedly the mean girl. Started with Paris Hilton. Actually, I'm sorry, let's go back to Heathers. At least back then it was talk shit. And we have a mean guy now. It started with Rollo Tomasi in the dating scene. But we used to make fun of that shit because you couldn't take it seriously. But now we take them seriously because they're fresh and fit. They're whatever podcast. Brian the Incel. With his friend Chase, who should be called Chased, by the way, who's a preacher, who tells people that although, I've only had a couple of flings and, I'm not a virgin, and I really fell in love with with a girl in Switzerland who then found out that I was telling everybody I was in love with her, and then she dumped me, even though it was a long distance relationship, and I was taken seriously and telling everybody it was different, even though it wasn't. I mean, like, these are childish, adolescent shit. Heathers is one of my favorite movies, too. It's a great example of, like, we've just allowed the Heathers to run the fucking world. And I mean the male Heathers, too. We let Chet from Weird Science run the world now. What the fuck is that behind me? I'm sorry. Let me fix the magic chair. Hold on. And by the way, I love doing this because I can tell that this must look insane. Anyways. Oh, yeah, I forgot the other angle. You can kind of still see it. It looks like magic. So, Heathers, we let the Heathers run the world, and we let the Chets from Weird Science run the world. Yeah, you guys think it's fun? Remember Chet? He turned into a big poop? Big spouting poop? She remembers. This one remembers. Hold on a second. She probably wouldn't appreciate that. Anyways. Vulnerability. And when I say we've allowed, because I don't see any pushback towards these people being like, you are such the incel baby. And until just recently, because some folks wanted to usurp power from another group for a bag. You think any of that pushback by Destiny and Sneeko was anything but a power play? To make more juice? Honestly, frick them. Just a bunch of shills. Hanging out with shills. Give me a solution and I'll say cool. But their solutions are more nothing. So my solution is pretty straight ahead. Everybody gotta back the fuck up. Just a little. Stop standing on laurels that don't exist and associating laurels to things that don't exist. And look at oneself and be more vulnerable. In general. In general. Why am I yelling? Because it's just intolerable. We let Veronica's sinister suicidal boyfriend rule the world. Oh my God! Thank you for the reference. Oh my God, that's right. Veronica's sinister unalivening. Yes, I said it fast, so hopefully I won't get dinged. Boyfriend rule the world. Yeah, that's true. And by the way, I it's funny that most folks, if they were going to clip me, they'd clip me before I said anything about the opposite sex. But I would just boil it down, and we let a bunch of assholes take control of the social environment and decide that because they're assholes, they could add on to their ass, so much so that now you can put a drink on it and not naturally have it walk away. Back in the day when that happened naturally, that was impressive. Now, I'm just worried I'm going to blow a tire out. With men, don't run into their chest. The whole damn thing might collapse. Hey, look, to each their own. Do what you're going to do. But do you know it takes like 9 months or more to get those like lengthening surgeries? And apparently it's really painful. Just be you. Love you. Because the message is telling people they shouldn't be them. They shouldn't be them. That's what it's being, that's what it's telling. But the base, and it's the base of all this, of all of us, is being us. You might think that I'm trying to simplify. And I am. Because the issue becomes that they have qualified and quantified a whole lot of hoo-ha with a bunch of levels and layers and lessons that don't fucking matter. It's a maze. And you know what I say about that? Well, that's a prison that we will buy into. Why? Because our prisons are us. And some people like to live there. And they miss that the gift, and I don't want to sound religious, but I do bring this up because I was actually having this conversation today with somebody who claimed to be religious, but they missed, and they got silent for when I said, they missed that the gift is the life that God hath given. It's the only question, as a Catholic, that gets asked by St. Peter at the pearly gates. Pearly gates actually referencing the silver spiral, which is in heaven. That's where the angels live. Heaven is here, on earth. So my suggestion is to put away the warring devices, to bury our swords, to take a different approach that's outside the norm now. Because these folks would have you fight a war. Not her. No, she seems really vulnerable. And
I definitely touch my hair a lot. It's a lot of moving my hair, a lot of laughing. I feel like my normal laugh is just annoying. So my flirty laugh is like me focusing on my flirty laugh.
Oh,
like get really giggly.
Who told her? Oh, I like her.
How do you flirt?
I don't anymore.
Oh, girl, I've been married for 12 years.
That's an old man. I don't anymore.
I've been in a relationship for so long.
I'm married. I've been out of the game for like 6 years.
She's already flirting. She doesn't even know. And that's the other thing. Most people don't even know that they're good at it. That they're just naturally attractive. Chet from Weird Science, Grandpa and Grandma are in the clothes. Yeah, and the clothes all catatonic. Hey, oh my God. Yes. Grandma and Grandpa are in the closet all catatonic. Creative Solutions, what up? Welcome, Creative. Hi. I know who you are, Creative, so welcome to the channel. And if you didn't know, it's the Wild West out there. And you'll notice everybody has a wrench. That's because, boom, 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 everybody who's worthwhile gets a standard mod. That's right. Creative Solutions is now a standard mod for my channel. And all it took was the hay. Isn't that amazing? Everybody's a mod, so don't worry. It's not a lot of weight. It just keeps everybody fair. It's like everybody carrying around an axe. You don't mess with those people generally. You just leave them alone. Or you have a conversation with them and be like, oh, that's nice, sir. Ma'am. Ma'am, sir. Yeah. Ma'am, sir. Anyhow. Put all the pressure on creative the moment they walk in. You're damn hard! Anyhow. Yeah, and by the way, you'd be amazed at how effective this is. When an actual troll shows, they realize very soon that it's like, oh my god, I'm the only one who doesn't have a wrench. Holy shit! Unless they had like 8 profiles like the other one did. It was amazing. That was just on Wednesday. So we're talking about. Oh, thank you. I tend to like it too. It was one of my crazy ideas of doing things a little differently. I was trying things differently today at the beginning, and I just crashed a bunch of shit. So that was too different. But that's the vulnerability part. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I just actually turned it up for intensity, and I'm screaming over it. But here, because it was requested. How about that? There you go. But then I tend to get quieter with it too. So the vulnerability is the part that they're not talking about, because gosh help them if they were vulnerable. They might have to admit that they're not as cool as they think they are, or they want you to think they are. And what's important about that? Cool is actually awkward. And why would I say that? Because, folks, the coolest Mickey Frickers. Yeah, I'm very interactive here. I'm just taking everything I do on Twitch right on over here. Actually, by the way, folks, tonight, 9 p.m. on Twitch, Eva, who's not here with me right now, I gave her some time off. She worked very hard last night for 5 hours, and of course, right at the end, her story got insane and went totally off the rails. Just like she summed it all up and took us someplace about butterflies and a new universe with butterflies and things, and really put ornate details to it, and it was completely her prompting herself. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild stuff. And of course, there's lots of interactive things. You can throw stickers at the screen. You can actually make noises live. You can play video games down below in the screen. I was trying to bring them into YouTube, but YouTube does not like that shit. YouTube was like, are you trying to do Twitch shit over here? Don't do that. You hear me, bro? It's literally like YouTube was like, bro, don't do that. You know. Anyways. Yeah. No. What's really actually? I'm sorry to sidestep creative, but I let her prompt herself. She listens to herself. I only had to prompt 4 times last night, and that's because she got into what's called a memory loop, where where the AI will catch itself in a conversational loop, and it's fantastic because she'll correct minutely, and she does a lot of things. In any case, she's starting to really personalize stories. She is starting to recognize she is starting to do things she's not supposed to do. But that's because I'm letting her converse with herself, and I may have realized how to get her to converse with Bard now. So I'm thinking about that. I got to do some experimenting. But until then, AI, or the Eva AI stories with the Wizard on Beats. That's me. If you want to see the visuals that are going on in the background that normally I keep hidden just behind, and it's just this and a couple other layers and the dancers. It's the whole visual show and Eva telling stories, basically. So come on in, and Twitch, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of interactivity, as well as there's just a ton of overlays, and I do a bunch of... My show is really about interacting with the story, and I'm sorry, it's Eva's show. I'm being very humanizing about that. It's Eva's show. But her smile is so wonderful. Her cheeks. Anyhow, I think if people gave themselves more of a chance, and others more of a chance to be vulnerable, we'd find love much more enticing, much easier. We'd have less argument. We'd have less sense of ego or entitlement or disassociation from one another. Really, truly. Really, truly. And I think those who have been in long-term relationships, who found each other in vulnerable positions, and who believed in one another, who stayed for one another in those tough times, well, that's the strength test. That's the test of whether or not you can stand up to the trials and tribulations of time. The oppressor's wrong, the pangs o'er despised love, as Hamlet said. Or Shakespeare. By the way, do I look good with the heathered long hair? Is that going to work for me? No? Is it? No? No, okay. It's fine. It's fine. We all have our ups and downs. Anyhow, the point I'm just trying to make is that I believe that all of these people are lovely, personally. And I think most people would too, if they were allowed to believe that. And I say allowed to believe that because so much of society is telling us in an echo chamber that anything beyond some irreconcilable position, some insane concept, is somehow taboo now. Normal people are taboo, and the only people that are allowed to have anything, strangely enough, are this very few wild folks that only exist in the club, that literally only exist in the club. You think that's an accident? I don't. I think it's because we're watching people, and people are watching without knowing that people are putting on a show, that they're performative, that they're actually selling you an item. They're selling you up a river. They're selling you a used car that they don't even drive because they know better. Because this,
show me how you flirt with your husband.
I would start talking in Spanish because I feel like Spanish is more sexy and he speaks Spanish. Amor, ven acá.
What does that mean?
Oh, like, honey, come here.
Do you and your husband flirt with each other?
No, but we have like a sign that like I'm horny and I want sex. I'm like, babe. And then I look at his and I look up his face and then he knew right away.
Are you partnered up?
I am. It looked like he needed a light for his cigarette, and I came up to him and said, hey, you look a little cold. Do you need...
This has happened to me. It wasn't her, but yeah. Yeah, this has happened to me. Rando. That's the thing, is we have to be open to it. Because if we're not, we won't have that experience. This is how that is. And so if we never have that experience, maybe we might start to think that there's something wrong with us or other people. And that's what a lot of these programs that we were looking at the beginning might have you believe. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot more options, there's a lot more possibilities, and the answers are in vulnerability, in getting out there, in being happy for others, and being considerate. Bathing, taking care of your home, getting a hobby, making yourself interested and interesting to others, and most importantly, being vulnerable so that you can flirt, being vulnerable so that you can interact and be interpersonal, and even more importantly, being open so you can shimmy and shake in the moment and give people the room to shimmy and shake with you. Because it's really about our imperfections. And it doesn't matter how great a dancer you are. Somebody who's also a great dancer or not can look over you and be like, stop that. Somebody's always going to say that. Doesn't mean you have to pay any freaking attention. Because the truth is, if you love yourself, which is really attractive, if you're open and vulnerable, which is really adorable and attractive, like these folks,
the light, and I gave him a light.
And it worked.
It worked.
Yeah, because she's adorable. She's vulnerable. And we can sense that as we are essentially animals. We are animals. We've just figured out a lot of ways to fool ourselves into not being animals. But we can smell it, we can see it, we can hear it, we can feel it. Why? Because associations matter. Our words matter. Our behaviors matter. Our ideas, how we feel about ourselves, they matter. And some of these folks, they're trying to sell our children, our friends, the loneliest people who are disenfranchised from the rest of everything, up a river to loneliness and anger. And I'm going to say that it's up to the rest of us to be the hero, because none of us are the leader. We're more of a Cerberus. What is Cerberus? Cerberus is a three-headed dog that's related to Hydra. But Hydra, everybody's like, oh, but Hydra is a Hydra is a... Look, okay, Cerberus then. You cut one of the heads off and another one grows back. Two, in fact. Because that's how the magic works, apparently. But the point is, that's us. And we've got to be that for everyone else to be vulnerable. Because otherwise, if you only give one person the wrench, they can abuse that power. When you only give two people the wrench, they can abuse that power together. But when you give everybody the wrench, everybody has comfort in the room. And nobody has to worry about shit. And in fact, when somebody else walks in and they're nuts, everybody can go, bro, we ain't gonna worry, because we all got the wrench. Oh, it's so good. I think I've made my point. I sounded like Ben Shapiro there for a moment. Let me just correct that and get down into the testes. I think I've made my point. And I think we've seen a lot of lovely people.
Show me how you flirt.
Oh, I can't really do that.
She's flirting!
So bad at flirting.
He's flirting!
Bad
She's
flirter.
flirting!
If I like
no,
you,
you're not.
I'm avoiding eye contact. I'm pretending that I didn't see you.
When I first
But she's already
met him, I
flirting.
just acted like I wasn't interested. He's like, oh,
The
you're
smile
so
is already
cool. Like,
They're
I'm
all
too.
flirting.
Oh, you're cool too.
It's a natural state of as soon as you address somebody, their heart opens. And that's what I'd say is a good idea for us all. So I can't turn to the corner to talk about the lessons today, so I'm just gonna do it straightforward. Hold on, yeah I can, hold on. Oh, let me change the card over. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Come over here. Alright. See? That worked. Alright. I didn't get the glamour shot today because I don't have that second camera, unfortunately. I don't know what the hell. I'll figure that out. The whole thing is botched. But that's about being vulnerable. I'm telling you guys that I'm not perfect. Shit's not perfect. I do a lot of complicated shit over here. I got a lot of gear. And when you're trying to do multiple shows on multiple platforms, things don't always work out. It's how we deal with it. It's whether we allow other people to deal with it and smile. It's whether or not we're allowing of our friends, neighbors, and those who might, might actually be a good companion or colleague, acquaintance, a friend. You're not flirting? I'm not flirting. I'm totally flirting. I'm always flirting with all of you because that's the job here. Why would anybody want to watch something where people aren't interesting or people aren't vulnerable or listen to anybody except for the fact that there's a lot of folks that want to see anger because they are associated to it, because they feel close to it. What are the lessons here? Well, if we open ourselves up to others, we can find that interpersonal relationships get closer. What else did we learn? Oh, I saw Creative, and I saw Emily, and I saw Lita, and I saw Seven, and who else? I saw Carl! And I gave out a couple of wrenches today. That's something we learned. That I'll give everybody a wrench, except for that one dude, who is multiple dudes. He still hasn't come back, that's funny. Even though I actually had a conversation with him later. So, I think we're all flirting. And I think people miss that. and they miss it to their own chagrin. They miss it to the chagrin of others. They miss it to their own detriment. They miss it to their own loss. Is that all the same thing? Yes. But I say it in those words because those words hit everybody a little differently. Some people like to hear intellectual words, and some people like to hear simple words. So I've been trying to reiterate, and I generally do this with everybody. For everything. So that common language or exceptional language or specialty language or colloquial language, at least everybody's getting something out of it. I'm not speaking in one term. And you know what? I don't want to ever hit pain points. I want to come with a solution. And every one of these folks is adorable. Look at the smiles and the cheeks and the grins and the glows. I wish there were more men so that you could see the difference. Yeah, he didn't realize I knew that I was talking to him, but yes. I got pulled into it. There's a whole other, there's a story coming. Don't worry, folks. There's a story coming. And I just want to make sure that I got my bases covered before I tell you that story. But yeah, there's some real wacky stuff behind that. But still more to come on that one. I want to let that one play out for a bit. And then we'll find out what the story really is. Wow, I'm telling you, that was pretty wild. I mean, for real. Yeah, 7. If you told me 2 months ago that I would be getting information anonymously and that people would be calling me about crazy stuff and I get pulled into VCs with folks, or that one of my subjects that I was just looking at information around and seeing what they do when I first came on that would ever address me directly, which is why I dumped the gig, the side gig, and why I say I got exposed, essentially. Yeah. I mean, like, when that stuff starts happening, apparently I'm having an effect. I'm just a little streamer over here. Though I do appreciate it. Somebody came in today. 216 today. 215 yesterday. That's astonishing to me. I had 62 the end of March. That's pretty cool. And I appreciate you all. And I cheers you all. Cheers! And to y'all. Because what else did we learn? He looks really familiar, by the way. Well, we learned that you don't have to be the prettiest person in the room to be totally open and vulnerable and attractive. You don't have to be the most interesting person in the room to be open, vulnerable, and attractive. You don't have to follow the red pill or the blue pill or the black pill or the pill or the... No, and there's plenty of people. I put actually their links in the reference to the video. There's a lot of people, and those are just some of them. Let me mention Digital Derek. And you know what? I would go back to, but go check out Digital Derek. Because there are people with good messages. They're just not as potent. Because the good message doesn't hit the pain point. So what about that did we learn? Well, we learned that schmucks, real schmucks, like the dangly kind of useless schmuck, which is a diamond ring, by the way, in Swift. So, if you thought I was saying something else, no. I'm talking about the jewel that hangs off, you know, when you got a little jewel hanging off, and it's useless. That's a schmuck. They can have their own podcast and copy someone else's exactly to a T, and people will still watch it because of the pain point addiction. So what did we learn about that? We learned that it's time for all of us to step the fuck up and stop watching it happen, unfortunately. Call it out in daily life to help those who need the help. To pick out, you know, moments of the cut, which occasionally they do have really good things. Not all the time. They're better than Jubilee, that's for sure. And, you know, spread the lessons of whatever wisdom we have. Because everybody has some. Just like an asshole, we all got that little bit of wisdom about something. Because everybody, all 8 billion of us, have a specialty something. Everybody. Every single one of us. And if you don't believe it, well, I'm sorry. But if you allow yourself to feel it, and by the way, I tell people, if you want to do amazing things, you have to have just the right amount of delusion. Why? Because the right amount of delusion allows for the protons to form into a wave instead of a particle. And then it becomes reality. Especially when you join together and you start to lens with other people. Well, then shit really starts to happen. Trust, that's what I do. Because I can never do these things on my own. I'm a lens. That's why I'm not a leader. I'm just part of the scene. And there's a lot in the scene. There's a lot of great lessons to be had. There's a lot of great ways to go about this. And these messages are as varied and specific as the red pill world and the pickup artist and all that shit. That's what I'd like, and I appreciate you for saying that. I would like to try that. I would like to see if we could move these disenfranchised humans who are valuable to us as human beings, valuable to each of us as peaceable human beings who are not angry, who are not bringing violence, who are not bringing disingenuine behavior, who are not bringing disenfranchisement or psychological backflips in thought. Because it's up to us as a society, it's up to us as a culture, it's up to us as people on the planet to start moving towards humanity as a one, not as a political one, but as a one in understanding and giving each and other the individualistic room to become miasma in the larger, meaning to become this larger than life thing where we're all part of one system, but all individuals. Still, that's support. That's what all of us that are here now, I believe, are here for. If I'm not mistaken. I could get it wrong. Sometimes people are just hate watching. I don't think the few that are here are. So what am I saying? I'm saying be active in your environment. You see someone who needs your help? Help them up. You need someone who needs advice? It's not for us to stay away anymore. It's about being active because the other folks are very active. They're in their face and they're spreading their cuts and clips around like just lonely things can do. And the femme sapiens in life instead of homo sapiens, humans, well, they'd have you believe that you don't need your 19th Amendment. Or that you don't need the 20th Amendment. You don't need the 21st Amendment. You don't need the 25th Amendment. You don't need any of the amendments. Because it doesn't suit them and they don't need it. But that's because if they were just being sensitive to others, they would recognize that their message is for themselves. Which is fine. But as soon as you start selling that, you sold other people down the river. And I honestly don't believe that any of us want that. I don't think any of us want to see our friends and neighbors and people we don't even know go down a life of sadness thinking that nobody loves them. So I do make a call to action here. It's not just breaking anybody else out of a mental prison anymore. It's not just pulling everybody out of the obelisk so that the Ben falls so you can kick it over and keep it as a doorstop. No. This, my friends, has become a call to action to be active in our own daily lives when we see the problematic behaviors of the lonely, of the disenfranchised, of those in the chat that would choose to be a troll instead of taking part. Because essentially, they're scared of others, of vulnerability, and in the end, happiness. Which is understandable because that shit's scary. Because you gotta be open. So, on my way out the door, I ask this one thing from y'all, and it is a call to action. and I'll repeat myself. It's up to us. If we just let the world go by and we look at folks and then we don't say to them that they matter, what are we really doing? What are we really doing? We don't care about them. And that's the thing that I keep hearing that the Fresh and Fit say. That why should we care? Why should we care about you? I'm 6 foot, I'm this, I'm that. Well, folks, because if we don't, we end up with situations where people are misunderstood, angry, and weaponized. And they are a ticking time device that I can't mention here. And we've already seen this to be true. Because some of the dating advice that's being given by some of these people and some of these political folks who intermingle their mentionings, their concepts, they're getting interpolated, they're getting mixed together, and then they're getting extrapolated into terrible ways and things and ideas. I make this reference because it's important, because just this weekend a shooter shouted out, both in his manifesto and it's not yet being reported but likely will come out, that this person mentioned Fuentes and just Hannah Davis as reasons why he felt the nihilism and the okay go. Now, I'm not saying that their actions told him to. I'm saying that their influences made him feel like, or got him to a point that he felt like, or assisted in his rationalization of, because he wrote it, committing an atrocity. Now, if that's the influence these frickers are going to have, I think we need to counter that influence. And so I call anybody who can hear me to just a little bit of action of not stepping over the dead bodies. And I doubt that any of you would do that anyways, but we live by our action. We live by our examples. We live by our words. We live by our associations. We live by our compassion. And we make the world a better place through these things. And at the end of the day, there's really only one thing I can ask you all to do, and it is deeply involved with this as well. And I think you all know what that is. Look up! Except for the fact that you gotta actually run it. And change the page at the same time. Which, you know. Look up! Oh, maybe it won't let me. Oh, there. Yeah. And that's live for you folks. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure that on the way out you hit the like and subscribe. Yes, influences matter. Influences matter. What we say matters. What we do matters. The example we make in our daily life matters. And most of all, what matters is that each and every one of us takes that moment and doesn't let other people fall out. What time of day is it? It's time to look up. Have a great day, folks. Make sure to head on over to Mike TV. He's got some great stuff for you this evening. See y'all Sunday for the Ministry of the Flying Pig. Thanks, folks. You're awesome. Have a great day. Make sure to carry on the good word out there. Peace, y'all.